supposed to know if you feel the same way, or if you want me to stay? Baby, just give me something. How am I supposed to know? We've got all this time, so stop wasting mine. We've got all this time. How am I supposed to know?
Hey, Burner, I see you on Twitter, buddy. We'll get going in 1 second. I am super far behind it, but we're not starting as late as that Twitter space did, so I'll be on in just 1 sec.
Fade in.
I need a username. And I have a great one. Little Kid Lover. That way people will know exactly where my priorities are at.
By the way, he gave me permission to touch him.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
How dare you?
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every f***ing conceivable opportunity so you can f***ing current day us.
This is the first time that we see a woman, and the first time that we see a black woman in this area and this world.
But Mrs. Kennedy, Bambi's a baby deer.
Baby deer, put a chick in it, make her gay.
And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
No, God!
The power of one!
And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically. Bitch.
Has anyone taken
Power of two. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace. The power of many.
It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year-old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. It is a situational disability that you have.
You think that I'm retarded?
Sexism in gaming.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
No trial, no nothing.
The games industry is diverse naturally. Not because anyone's making them be diverse. Because the world is diverse, you stupid mother.
F***ing pronouns! F***ing gender ambiguity!
You serious?
Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists.
Damn, shit is crap.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come. You keep doing that, no one up here is gonna call you Donald Trump anymore. We're gonna call you Donald Duck.
Weird. Weird.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that Hassan Piker? I'm coming to kill you in Los Angeles at your house. Or in the ring. No, in real life.
Dude, that clip will never not be funny. I swear to God, that is like the best thing to ever happen. And honest to God, Sam Hyde scares the shit out of me. Like, that guy, I honestly think he's got mental issues. So, real quick disclaimer, guys. I have a backup webcam I'm using because of the fact that my Easy capture card that I've been using for my DSLR camera for like the last year and a half decided to crap out on me, apparently. I mean, these things are like made in China by the dozen, you know, dime a dozen or whatever. So that being said, we're using the old backup webcam for tonight. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll have this new replacement one and we can get back to normal. Because this picture is like ass, okay? I'm not even lying. Like, check this out. Look at the like blur going on with this webcam. This is god-awful. Absolutely wretched stuff right here. That being said, guys, I just want to kind of go through a little bit of the news surrounding the Twitter space with Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Because I think, honestly, there wasn't anything that was said that was like that groundbreaking. I listened to like all 2.5 hours of it. And to be honest, I don't know if I was somebody who was like an independent who was listening to it, if it would have like moved me one way or the other. I don't know. I didn't think it was as amazing as some people made it out to be. But, you know, it had some high points. Trump sounded a little off. There was like some slurring going on in the audio. I don't know what that was about, but it seemed like he had dentures that were slipping or something. Again, I'm trying to be fair, trying to be honest. It was very, very strange audio. But overall, I think that they had a decent conversation. Hey, Purple. So yeah, it is what it is. But I want to go talk about, before we get to like some of the clips from the space, apparently before they even got started, Elon said that they were having a DDoS attack. I know, I got off work around 5. My wife and I we were in the car. We're trying to get the kids some dinner. We're trying to stop on the way home. And I'm trying to bring it up on my phone. She's trying to listen in on her phone. And neither one of our phones work. And I'm like, okay, what the hell? Neither one of us is going to get in. Finally, like 5:30, I get in there. And there's absolutely no sound. And then Trump's playing like elevator music or whatever on his end. I'm like, what the hell am I listening to here? But the long and the short of it, eventually they got started like 45 minutes late. Elon had tweeted out that he thought that they were having like a DDoS attack. Then, of course, if you check out like the community notes on this, guys, this is fantastic. Here, you got to look at this. If you use an iPhone, it makes you sound like you're slurring. Okay, again, good to know because I couldn't tell what was going on with that. And I know from recording hundreds or thousands of hours of video or streaming for the last 5 years that there are certain times where it might sound okay to me, to my ear, and then I listen back to where I hear through my own microphone, through, speakers or headphones, and I'm like, okay, I sounded terrible there, or I was slurring my words, or there was, some sort of lisp, because I've had that problem growing up my entire life. That's, a fantastic problem to have. That being said, these community notes on Elon Musk's tweet are absolutely fantastic. Like, guys, check this shit out, okay? As of right now, Elon tweeted this out 4 hours ago, talking about how there was a possible DDoS attack or whatever. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You have like over 30 notes on this one freaking post, all trying to fact check whether or not Elon knows what a DDoS attack is, okay? Hey, duct tape lady. My favorite one, though, because I did scroll through all of these because I couldn't believe like the amount of like mental retardation on display. Looking at all these people arguing about whether or not it was or wasn't a DDoS attack, I get to the very last one. That's currently rated not helpful, and it says, "No note needed, but so many people have already posted no note needed that no one will know how much I'm craving DICK tonight. LOL." I'm like, okay, this is where we're at with this. This is where we are with community notes, apparently. And again, I try to take community notes seriously. I try to I take pride in the notes that I've written and the things that I've rated. I try to be helpful. I mean, I don't write very many notes. I've got an impact rating of 8. I've only had 2 that have been voted not helpful. My rating impact for what I actually rate is 116 because I tend to be pretty, objective when I'm rating notes. But some of these people in community notes have legitimate issues, guys. I tell you what, this was a not perfect system that Elon set up. But then, of course, everybody's been memeing on the fact that none of us could get into the space. This guy here, that southern dude, says everybody's simultaneously trying to access the Elon Trump space by smashing the start listening button. And yes, I was here. I was here multiple times. I tried getting in over and over, and then I'd get in and there'd be no sound, and so I'd leave, and then I'd come back in again. I think at one point it peaked at like 1.3 million listeners, which was huge. Absolutely like staggering numbers. I think DeSantis, I can't remember what DeSantis got when he did a space with Elon. I want to say it was like somewhere around 300,000 or 400,000. It could be more than that. They're very mixed. Oh, we're talking about community notes? Yeah. But basically, the long and the short of it is, right before Elon goes on there, earlier today, there was this tweet put out by this guy, Theory Breton. No idea who he was. Apparently this guy works for the European... hang on, I want to get this correct. He is the Commissioner of Internal Market for the European Commission, okay? And they've got a whole list of responsibilities that this guy has. You can see, though, on his Wikipedia page, this dude is apparently a French business executive, politician, writer, and the current Commissioner for Internal Market of the European Union. He was the Vice Chairman and CEO of Groupe Bull, Chairman and CEO of Thomson RCA, Chairman and CEO of France Telecom, entered politics serving as Minister of Economy, Finance, and Industry in the governments of Prime Ministers Jean-Pierre Raffarin and Dominique de Villepin during the presidencies of Jacques Chirac. From 2007 to 8, he was at Harvard Business School, joined the Atos Group as its CEO. He's had conflicts of interest over his previous posts at France Telecom and Atos. So basically, this guy is like a complete globalist CEO, like elitist, for this global shill, essentially for like the global world order. And here he is criticizing Elon Musk, essentially threatening him from the European Communion, saying, "Dear Mr. Musk, I'm writing to you in the context of recent events in the United Kingdom and in relation to the planned broadcast on your platform X of a live conversation between a US presidential candidate and yourself, which will also be accessible to users in the EU. I understand you're currently doing a stress test of the platform. In this context, I'm compelled to remind you of the due diligence obligations set out in the Digital Service Act as outlined in my previous letter. As the individual entity ultimately controlling a platform with over 300 million users worldwide, of which 1/3 is in the EU, that has been designated as a very large online platform, you have the legal obligation to ensure X's compliance with EU law and in particular the DSA and the EU." So essentially just trying to threaten freaking Trump and Elon for their conversation that they're having. Okay, you were in the 122,000 people on. Yeah, I got in some point around like the 200,000 mark, I think. It was crazy though. I was watching it blow up left and right, and I was sitting there for like 5 minutes going, all right, so what's going on with this? Are we actually going to get in? Is there going to be any audio? But yeah, so this dude preemptively reaches out to Elon to basically threaten him that, he needs to make sure that everything is compliant with EU law, and otherwise there'll be like, consequences for it. Let me go down here at the very bottom. It says, "Let me clarify that any negative effect of illegal content on X in the EU, which could be attributed to the ineffectiveness of the way in which X applies the relevant provisions of the DSA, may be relevant in the context of the ongoing proceedings and of the overall assessment of X's compliance with EU law. This is in line with what has already been done in the recent past, for example, in relation to the repercussions and the amplification of terrorist content or content that incites violence, hate, and racism. I therefore urge you to promptly ensure the effectiveness of your systems and to report measures taken to my team." Yeah. So basically just saying, you better make sure that everything is peachy keen for us, otherwise you're going to have issues. And of course, the funniest thing happened. Elon responded with freaking, where's his tweet at? This is one. He's like, "To be honest, I really wanted to respond with this Tropic Thunder meme, but I would never do something so rude and irresponsible." Now, again, I get it. Elon's thing is the memes, right? That's his thing. Oh, you live in Ireland. Oh my gosh. My condolences. I mean, not for where you live, because I think Ireland is freaking fantastic. I wish I could visit there at some point. But the way things are currently going, I'm not leaving the US anytime soon. That's for dang sure. I'm not going anywhere. So yeah, of course, this meme is pretty... for most of us in the US, this is very much how we feel about all these European commissioners and the British police chiefs. Like this dude here, this UK police commissioner threatening to extradite US citizens. I don't know if any of you guys saw this, but it was apparently London's Metropolitan Police Chief warned that officials will not only be cracking down on British citizens for commentary on the riots in the UK, but on American citizens as well. And I still remember I was watching this interview, and the comments below, it was like, everyone's like, okay, come and get us. Good luck, you know? You've tried that once before. Oh my gosh. Gonna assume that this shill does not understand how business law works regarding regulation. Even if a company is international, the primary law is governing is based on its home country. I mean, that's the thing. That's the reality of the situation. Like, how are you going to go after a international company when they're... Okay, so yeah, you say, well, this is in violation of EU law or charter or whatever. Fine. So you say it can't be allowed in the EU. That doesn't affect its visibility in the US. It's just crazy. Then they try to make you a criminal. Up for work in an hour. Oof. Well, let me see duct tape. If you're in Ireland, it's got to be... Oh, early. You're in the wee hours of the morning over there. Oh, so top of the morning to you. Yeah. But this guy, this dude came out trying to threaten American citizens, and it cracked me up. I'm like, okay, not only does America have bigger problems on its hands than extraditing its own citizens to the UK to be prosecuted for mean words, but it's like, no. So not happening. But the funniest part of this entire Twitter space, and we'll try to play a little bit of the audio. Honestly, I found most of it to be kind of repetitive and boring. The funniest part of this entire thing is the reaction of the media, as always. Okay, 6 a.m. Not too terribly early. I used to think 6 a.m. was early until I had kids, and that's like, okay, if I'm in bed till after 6, I consider myself lucky at this point. So yeah, Variety put out this article not too long ago, just like an hour or two ago, saying after a 40-minute delay, Elon Musk and Donald Trump hold a marathon bowl session on X. Believe it or not, this is one of the nicer articles that I've found. May the road rise to meet ya. Exactly. You can put silk on a goat, but it's still a goat. Boy, I've felt that so many times. May you be in heaven half an hour before the devil knows you're dead. I used to have one of those calendars of Irish proverbs. My mom's mom was half Irish. My mom's dad was full-blooded Sicilian. So I got a pretty heavy mix of European on my mom's side and a shitload of just random stuff on my dad's. Gotta get ready at 7? You got a smidge. You got a short while. So this article says, toward the end of his conversation with Elon Musk on X on Monday night, Donald Trump brought up the possibility that he might lose the election. I love how out of a 2.5-hour conversation, they hone in on that. If something happens with this election, which would be a horror show, we'll meet the next time in Venezuela because it'll be a far safer place to meet than our country. You and I will go and we'll have a meeting and dinner in Venezuela, Trump said. It was a rare moment of vulnerability in a marathon talk that ran longer than 2 hours after a 40-minute delay due to technical issues. Musk blamed the glitch on a denial of service attack, as numerous X users said they were unable to join the conversations on Spaces. Let's see, it says, two businessmen had an awkward rapport. Trump had praised Musk's electric cars as incredible, and his move to fire workers who were involved in union activity. Said, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk away. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you're the greatest. I love how they focus in so much on the things that they can just kind of take out of context. For example, right here, he talked about immigrants from Africa, Asia, the Middle East, and South America, saying many are criminals and some are non-productive. That is absolutely not the way the conversation went. If you go back and listen to the conversation, I was actually frustrated with Trump that he wasn't being hard enough on the issue, because Elon wanted to say, oh, you know, even the illegal migrants, they're still, most of them are good people, they just need to be here legally. And Trump was like, oh, of course, yeah, you know, they have to be here legally. And I'm like, you guys, you can say a lot of these migrants are doing bad things. You don't have to sugarcoat it. And I felt like, honestly, they didn't go very hard at all. So I don't know. I feel like these guys are grasping at straws at this point. Gaelic and Celtic descent. Oh, yeah. There you go. like the English Dutch. You know, the funny thing is, I care a lot more. I mean, I can say racist stuff. I have a very sick sense of humor, and I pick on white people the same as I pick on anybody else. I think everybody should be fair game. But I have no problem with skin color. I have a problem with mentality. Like, if you're in a certain country because you live there or you were born there and you want to stay there, I think that we should all have a cohesive culture. I don't care about your skin color. I think we need to be, sharing similar values as Americans or wherever you live if you're going to live in America. That's my thing. It's like, it's not about your skin color. It's about your culture and your mindset. It's about how you treat everybody else around you. You know, more of that content to your character type stuff. The sort of thing that the whole DEI push kind of gets rid of. Yeah, he says that they're not workers. They don't want to work or whatever. Again, Trump didn't go on and say every immigrant from Africa, Asia, the Middle East, and South America doesn't want to work. He's talking about the people who come to these countries illegally, who come here seeking benefits, who've been told, that if you get to these countries, you'll be taken care of, you won't have to work, you'll have an easier life. Again, nuance. There needs to be nuance to some of these things, because unfortunately, these websites, these places like Variety, they just pull like the most uncharitable examples out of this situation here. Then, of course, Kamala Harris took the time to poke fun at the technical snafu, says Donald Trump's extremism and dangerous Project 2025 agenda. I don't even know what this Project 2025 thing is, guys. I have no idea. I don't even, I've heard people talk about it. I feel like it's like the new QAnon or BlueAnon or whatever. I don't know, this Project 2025 thing, it's like the Democrats or the leftists are like, no, we're going to make this Project 2025 thing stick. This is going to be a talking point. The Trump's evil, and this is like his Mein Kampf or something. It's like, this Project 2025 thing is it's a joke. It's a hoax, guys. Give me a break. When in Rome, be like the Romans? Hell yeah. No, duct tape lady, I think D-I-E is the actual proper spelling of it. It kills all culture and incentive to excel. But yeah, they said it's a feature, not a glitch of his campaign, which was on full display for those unlucky enough to listen in tonight on whatever that was on X. Trump's entire campaign is in service of people like Elon Musk and himself, self-obsessed rich guys who will sell out in the middle class and who cannot run a live stream in the year 2024. So again, the article takes a few snippets of 2.5 hours, puts them in an unflattering light, and then gives a nice little blurb from Kamala. We all know who these websites are shilling for, let's be honest, okay? However, this one. This article is fantastic. This is from, let's see here, the USA Today. This came out like mere minutes after the space ended. This was 7:30 my time, so right after the space ended, like it wrapped up, right? And this says, Trump rambles, slurs his way through Elon Musk interview. It was an unmitigated disaster. For a fascism-curious billionaire who loves cuddling up to right-wing loons, Elon Musk sure is good at making right-wing politicians look stupid. Now again, these guys are still living riding on the coattails of how badly Ron DeSantis's nomination, his announcement went on Twitter. And again, I'll admit it was a shit show. It was terrible. The way that things went, as far as the technical difficulties that they suffered, it was embarrassing for Ron DeSantis. This was embarrassing for everybody, because even after they got going, the thing was still cutting in and out. And then DeSantis, to be fair, has the personality of sandpaper. He was very stiff. He was very dry. And so it just didn't seem like he didn't have any charisma. Now, again, the conversation tonight, we'll play a little snippets of it. I didn't think it was anything fantastic or amazing. It was nice to hear them having just a normal conversation. That being said, I wanted Elon to really go and ask him some serious questions, and it was more of just letting Trump speak for a couple hours, which is fine. I mean, the guy has been muzzled by every other mainstream outlet. So if it served its purpose, I'm not going to criticize it too much. But this article here says, for a fascism-curious billionaire who loves cuddling up to right-wing loons, Elon Musk is good at making right-wing politicians look stupid. Former President Donald Trump had loudly trumpeted a planned Monday night interview with Musk that would stream on X. But much like the disastrous X platform launch of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign, the Musk-Trump interview failed to launch, leaving social media users laughing at the collective incompetence. No, most people were just trying to get into the space. He got up to 1.3 million, but this article doesn't mention that. They still don't mention that. Apparently they know, you've heard a bit of it, and it sounds like some sort of religious fanaticism. Well, you got to remember, there was always those fringe people. I have family friends, not like personal friends because I don't talk to them, but people that my family has been connected to for like 35 years, like going back to almost before I was born. And this person believes that Donald Trump has clones, that you can tell which clone it is based on the tie he's wearing. You know, the theory about Donald Trump being a time traveler, I think that they probably also believe that one. They got all into the QAnon stuff, believed all the Q prophecies and everything else. There are people who go hardcore extreme, like cult-like mentality. They drink the Kool-Aid and they can't see, they think this person's like some sort of like God, okay? It's twisted, it's weird. It's incredibly creepy. I don't think you should do that with any human being. It's very strange. They also don't use the word fascism properly. You're right. And that's the crazy part about groups like Antifa that go out of their way to be fascist, or fascistic at least, calling everyone else a fascist because, you know, I don't agree with you, therefore you're going to attack me and try to scare me and intimidate me to going along with the corporate narrative. And yet we're the fascists. It's crazy. What happened to classical liberalism? I don't know. I mean, I think classical liberalism is what the Twitter space that they had was all about tonight, you know, just having an open conversation, open dialogue. Yeah. To not be called a Nazi or a far right, you have to be extremely woke leftist. Yeah, Purple, I feel you there. I get it. So for somebody who's center left, you get called like right wing and you go, what the hell? I'm a traditional conservative, traditionally right wing person. So when I get called extreme or far right, I'm like, my views haven't changed in 30 years. So we're both in the same boat, even coming from different viewpoints, even coming from different perspectives or feelings on certain things. It's like, what the hell? Where is this coming from? You're like, how are we both lumped into the same thing? How are we both right-wing extremists when neither one of us really is? But whatever. Says, since Vice President Kamala Harris rose to the top of the Democratic presidential ticket, she didn't rise. The man stepped down. She got no votes. Again, this is a journalist, guys, okay? This is a journalist doing journalism, okay? Trump's campaign has been flailing. His childish attacks against her aren't working. His racist comments about her mixed-race heritage have repelled all but his most loyal supporters. No, it's called he pointed out that she was only black when it was convenient for her. I mean, have you guys seen those videos of the barbershop guys, all these black dudes sitting around a barbershop, some white dude, I think it was from CNN, goes into a barbershop thinking he's got like a Michael Jordan t-shirt on. He's trying to like really fit in with like the urban vibe, right? And these dudes are all asking him like, wait, do you think Kamala's black? And he's like, well, yeah. And the black guy turns to another black guy and goes, is Kamala black? And all of them are like, nah, she's not black. It's like, but apparently this is just Trump noticing it. So it says, his vice presidential pick, J.D. Vance, becomes less likable every time he speaks. You know, honestly, I don't care about J.D. Vance, whatever. VPs are VPs for a reason, guys. So his answer weirdly was to sit down with Musk and talk to what would undoubtedly be a very online audience that doesn't represent the broader electorate. Where is the broader electorate? We keep hearing how like Gen Z is going to decide the election. Gen Z is the most terminally online group of people that exists. But by sitting down online, it doesn't represent the broader electorate? Like what? Mainstream news, like the mainstream channels, aren't going to paint him in a flattering light. Why would he bother going to CNN? Why would he bother going to MSNBC? I mean, look at the way USA Today is writing about him. Okay, give me a break, guys. Come on. So it says, had the conversation gone off without a hitch, it still would have been odd and largely useless for Trump's effort to halt Harris's momentum. The momentum that was created by AI audiences and rap concerts featuring Megan Thee Stallion just to get people into the stadiums, guys. Look, I don't care what your opinion is on Trump, on Kamala. I'm not here to tell you how to vote. It's sad when people can't understand what fabricated or manufactured excitement really looks like. It's like we've talked about with the video game videos I've done, talking about how Ubisoft is paying influencers to pretend to be excited or to give positive energy about the Assassin's Creed, about Star Wars Outlaws. They tried going to Star Wars Theory, the biggest Star Wars channel, Star Wars YouTuber on the internet, and tried to get him to give their game like a positive spin by offering him like, you know, some sort of like, I don't know if they wanted to pay him or just gave him like insider access or whatever, but he said to, you know, get lost, whatever. But this is the way these people operate. None of it's authentic. It's all shills. It's all people who are giving manufactured enthusiasm, manufactured excitement. You know the funny thing, Purple? The funny thing is, in 2016, I didn't want to vote for Trump. I thought Trump was funny. Don't get me wrong. In 2016, I cannot remember which candidate I actually liked best. There was 17 guys on stage. I kind of thought, well, Marco Rubio's got charisma, and then I'm like, no, he's got no brain. I mean, then Chris Christie was running back then. Who else was running in 2016? God, there was a stage full of people. But the long and the short of it was, Trump was the guy I liked the most as far as the entertainment value, but the one that I was the least excited about because first off, I don't think Trump is super conservative. I don't think he's some religious guy. And again, these people that I know that thought he was the next coming of Jesus, they probably think that he's the most religious man to ever live. I don't think Trump's religious. I don't think he's that conservative. I don't think he's a traditional Republican. But then again, that's to his benefit. But I do think that he has a lot of good ideas. I think he's had a positive effect as far as the government and bureaucracy goes. And my wallet was a lot heavier under Trump. I had money in my savings account. Gasoline was a lot cheaper. And we weren't getting involved in new foreign wars for the most part. There was one or two conflicts he was presiding over. So when it comes down to it, it's for me, that was all I needed. That was okay, well, after seeing him do that for 4 years, I was cool. I'm okay, now I'll happily vote for Trump. In 2016, I was just voting against Hillary. I was there's no way. No way Hillary can win. Absolutely not. Yeah. Yeah, Wild, it's not about race. That's the thing. And unfortunately, there are the terrible, the race demographics when it comes to crimes committed and prison population and economic handouts and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, you can break down certain things by race when it comes to that, sure. That only paints a small part of the picture. If you look at, anybody from any ethnic background who's given the right opportunity, they tend to excel. It's just because economic factors exist heavily in certain demographics, it has a larger effect on those demographics themselves. I mean, it's basic science. If this group has more money and more access to more things, and this group traditionally has less, one's going to excel higher than the other. And I'm not justifying or saying that we need to do reparations or that kind of crap. I don't believe in any of that crap or, any of that handout stuff. But there is legitimacy to the fact that it will have an effect on it. Trump is barely religious. Yeah. Yeah, again, I don't care. Because look at it, all the parties suck. That both parties are terrible. I mean, I don't know what party I would even vote for if I was independent. I wouldn't vote Libertarian because I think they're cringe. Democrat, I don't agree with most of their beliefs. Republicans are all fake and cringe themselves. And it's well, I wouldn't be able to vote. So what do you do in that situation? Yeah, and I guess you could make that argument that he is more in line with modern conservative values. So yeah, you could have this guy still going on about this space saying X users erupt with either frustration or laughter as the planned start time passed and nothing could be accessed. It took more than 40 minutes before the interview could start and be heard by anyone. It was amateur hour, the last thing a campaign struggling to project competence needed. I didn't know that Trump's campaign was struggling to project competence, but apparently, according to this guy at USA Today, he was. Last May, when the DeSantis campaign premiered with a glitch-tastic interview with Musk on what was then called Twitter, Trump mocked the debacle, writing on social media, "Wow, the DeSantis Twitter launch is a disaster. His whole campaign will be a disaster. Watch. On behalf of DeSantis, allow me to say this. Ha." Well, he wasn't wrong, though. And again, I would have voted for DeSantis if he was the guy. But his campaign was a disaster. I mean, look, he was the party's choice. The Republicans wanted DeSantis, I believe. And they couldn't even get him above, I think Nikki Haley was right on his heels or even past him at one point. Hell, at one point, Ramaswamy was looking like he was going to pass DeSantis, okay? It wasn't wrong for Trump to say that his campaign was a disaster. He was right. So I don't know what this guy thinks he's proving. Okay, so Twitter had some technical difficulties because they got 1.3 million people that wanted to listen to the two of them talk, and he thinks that's some kind of own. This is really pathetic, childish shit right here. Of course, things didn't get better for Trump once the interview was able to proceed. Trump says AI did... Oh, that's a different article. Sorry. He was babbling on about crowd sizes and immigration and President Joe Biden and whatever else seemed to pass through his mind. He was also badly slurring his words. And again, I think Berner pointed out that sometimes with an iPhone that'll happen, I guess. I don't know. I I use Samsung Android. I hate Apple. I'll never use an iPhone. So I have no idea. He was also badly slurring his words, raising questions about his health, and doing nothing to knock down rising concerns about his age and well-being. Who's got rising concerns about his age and well-being? The age factor wasn't even addressed until Biden decided to bow out of the race. The minute Biden was like, oh yeah, I think I'm getting some dementia and I need to back out, age was never a factor. But the reason that they did this coup where Biden had to step down is because they wanted to be able to use the age factor against Trump. You know this for a fact. It's like they couldn't go after Trump's age because they had a guy who's like a walking vegetable as their candidate. He sounded like a disoriented, racist Daffy Duck. Wow. A racist Daffy Duck. All right. Musk, well, actually, I think Daffy Duck probably would be racist, come to think of it. If there was going to be a character that was racist, it'd probably be Daffy. Musk, meanwhile, has the interviewing skills of a stoned introvert. Okay. I'm not gonna completely disagree with this guy. I like Elon Musk. I wouldn't trust him to save my life. I still don't trust the man. After all this time, I don't know where his true loyalties lie. But he's done some good shit, so I'll give him credit where credit's due. But he is not an interviewer. I'll say that. He did a very, in my opinion, less than adequate job because, sure, he just let Trump talk for 2 hours. There was no, he didn't guide the conversation, and I get it. Trump is a very, very verbose, fiery personality. Once he gets talking, especially at his age, he's going to command the conversation because that's what older people do. They like to talk because they feel like they have all this life experience and they want to share the same story 1,000 times. I just feel like Musk could have done a better job guiding the conversation. He did the second half of the conversation. He got more in talking about the environment, talking about economy, talking about the ability to get rid of some of the regulations. So there was positive, there were positive pieces that Musk contributed to the conversation, but it took a long ass time for him to get to that point. I'm not even kidding. The brain chip is sus. Yeah, again, I honestly think that there are plenty of, just like how there's plenty of things to criticize Trump for, there's plenty of things you could criticize Elon about. I've watched a lot of videos talking about how Elon has done a lot of there'll be a controversy that comes up, and so he'll do a meme that takes the attention off the Google searches for that controversy. Like his cyber whistle thing came out at the same time that there was a whistleblower. So if you Google Elon Musk whistle or whistleblower, it pops up the result for the cyber whistle. Just things like that, guys. And I'm not saying that he's like the devil. I don't hate Elon Musk. I'm just saying I'm very cautious about these kind of people. Here's the best part. Says he did little but cheerlead Trump and agree with every bizarro thing that fell out of his mouth. Again, not true, because once they got into the actual meat and bones of the conversation, he agreed with them a lot because they were on the same page as a lot of Americans are about things like immigration, regulation, and again, things like being able to control the right to try legislation regarding pharmaceuticals that haven't been approved by the FDA. There's a lot of positive things that they both agreed on from that conversation, talking about alternatives to fossil fuels like nuclear energy or solar. They had a lot of things that they agreed on. So of course they're going to agree. I'm not going to quote anything Trump said in the interview because it was either too stupid to merit transcription or a mere repetition of the nonsense he spouts at every rally he holds. So here you have a journalist, an actual journalist, a supposedly honest to God journalist saying, I'm going to write an article explaining to you why this man's a fool, he's an idiot, he's a fascist, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a this, he's a that. He's basically the reincarnation of everything bad that's ever existed on this planet. But I'm not going to quote anything he said because it's just too stupid to write down. Now, that to me sounds like somebody who just wants to lob insults and doesn't want to allow anybody to read what he actually said for themselves. A big part of Trump's problem right now is he has become more almost unbearably boring. Build a wall, drill baby drill, Marxist, socialist, something, something. Harris only recently became black, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you can shit all over those talking points all you want to. Kamala Harris, her father was a Marxist economist. Movements like BLM, the DEI push, these are all Marxist, socialist influenced ideologies that we've seen in the last few years. We need a wall. We need a border wall. We need to be drilling for oil here. Kamala Harris did only recently become black. I mean, these are all reality, like, talking points, things that we all have seen happen. In the same way that they've tried to erase the fact that she's the border czar, that Biden called her the border czar, and all these websites have come out, all these media outlets have come out saying, "Oh, she was never the border czar, guys. That's a right-wing conspiracy theory. No one ever called her the border czar. You see, she was never the border czar." It's like, guys, we have memories lasting longer than like 5 seconds. We don't have the memory of a guinea pig, okay? Most of us can remember longer than 2 days ago. So for Trump sitting down with a rich weirdo few people like Elon Musk, guys. Did you hear this one? Wow. Apparently few people like Elon Musk, and slurring his way through an interview that failed to launch was, in the words of one Donald Trump, a disaster. Musk, with his social media ineptness and unmerited sense of self-importance, made DeSantis look like a fool. And now he's done the same to Trump. Heck, if Musk keeps this up, I might start to like him. Oh boy, this man smells his own farts. Wow, this guy's a fart huffer. Holy crap. So yeah, this is the response that we got from most of these people. Then you got this guy on Twitter saying, "I asked the Trump campaign why the coup-attempting criminal former president is slurring his words and lisping. The campaign's response: must be your shitty hearing, get your ears checked out." I don't know if this is real, but that's funny if it is. Yeah, few and far between. Yeah, Purple, I think most of us like Musk. I don't know him to trust him with, let's say you had to like, I don't even have a good example. My point is, I just have seen a lot of things about Musk that make me suspicious, but I've also seen the public persona he puts out, as well as the actions he's taken, to where, okay, I'll give him some leeway to kind of like, to earn my trust, to build trust, you know? Again, whether he has my trust or not, who knows? Yeah, I mean, Purple, I think we're all going to have those feelings about everybody. There's no perfect person, and none of us are perfect. And everybody is going to have to use their own gut feeling when it comes to the people that you surround yourself with, the people that you listen to, the people that you trust or take the opinion of seriously. So there's a little snippet here we'll play, and there's a few other sound bites we'll play, but we'll just kind of give you guys a little few samplings of the space itself if you didn't catch any of it.
Take a look at government. Would you agree that we need to take a look at government spending and have perhaps a government efficiency commission that just tries to make the spending sensible and so the country lives within its means, just like a person
The
does?
waste is incredible, and nobody negotiates prices. You used to have a lot of people making jets, and you end up with two companies, and they'll probably try and merge at some point. I went through it. Like Air Force, just a thing like Air Force One. One of the first documents they asked me to sign, a general walks in, "Sir, would you please sign this document?" And what is it? Air Force One. That's with Boeing, which is basically two planes, two 747s. And the price was $5.7 billion for two planes. Now, now they're highly sophisticated.
That's insane.
They're even nicer than your plane, okay? But much more sophisticated. They're I won't say what's on it, but they got a lot of stuff on it. Anyway, but it's 5.7.
That's a crazy
It's
number.
a crazy number, but I said, I'm not going to pay 5.7. I'm not going to do it. I said, who made the deal? Obama and his people. I said, well, then I know the deal's no good. I'm not going to do it. And over a course of about 4 weeks, by my saying I'm not going to do it, I got the price reduced by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane, other than we had a nicer paint job, if you want to know the truth. But for the exact same plane, I saved one. And I said to Boeing, man, you guys must make a lot of money if you can reduce the price by that. But now what I do hear is that they're going back to the Biden administration and wanting big cost overruns, because they see these dopey suckers in there, and they'll end up getting some of the money back. But I shaved it by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane. And you can now take that and multiply that out times thousands of other items.
Multiply it by a
the
zillion.
numbers are.
Yeah, I mean, if the story is true, the problem is, all right, duct tape lady, thanks for hanging. If this story is true in any capacity, and he was able to shave off $1.6 billion from a purchase or an acquisition from Boeing, again, a company that's got massive connections into government and politicians and whatnot with lobbying groups and everything else, that just kind of underpins the entire point of their conversation about deregulation, about cutting costs, about government efficiency. So again, for the articles that come out saying, oh, they just rambled on for 2.5 hours about a bunch of racist, fascist BS, it's like, No, guys, this is the reality. These are two businessmen talking about the ridiculousness of the spending going on in our country and in our world regarding the massive bloated government that we currently have. And if you actually look at the way that our government spends money, I think Elon at one point, I don't have the clip, said that apparently the U.S. government, the Treasury, is on track to add, what, $1 trillion to the national debt every 100 days? Again, I haven't fact-checked this, but if that's true, that is astronomically bad. I remember when I was a kid, the national debt, God, it was like in the single digits. And at that point, I'm like, oh my God, that's so much money. How can you possibly spend that much money? Like, that's not physically possible. There's no way. But at the time, money was worth a lot more, like a hell of a lot more. You remember when he refused that deal? Okay, so I wasn't aware of that. Again, unlike people that label people like me as like MAGA and right wing, I've never owned a MAGA t-shirt, never had a red hat. I've never had a Trump sign, you know. I voted for the guy, that was it, you know. But I don't hang on every word the man says. He's tweeted a lot in, 10 years, so at least 8 years since he was first elected. Hasn't tweeted much recently, but I don't hang on every word that the man tweets or says. So, yeah, there are things that I missed, This one here was very interesting, very telling, talking about how, again, this is Trump trying to make people understand, I get along great with Kim Jong-un, I get along great with Putin. Democrats or liberals hear that and they go, oh my God, he loves Putin, or he loves Korea, or he loves China, and he's just saying no. What I'm saying is I get along well with these other world leaders to keep us from getting nuked. It's like, people don't understand, your diplomats are supposed to get along well with other diplomats. Representatives of your country are supposed to get along well with other representatives worldwide. Doesn't matter if you think that they're the worst people on the planet. Doesn't matter if you think that they're scum or whatnot. Your politicians, your leaders have to get along well with other leaders, even if they're the worst person on the planet. If you're not at war, if you're not currently have troops on the ground in the other person's country, then of course you have to try to figure out a way to get along with these people. It's just reality.
I always say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside. We have some really bad people in our government and people that are, and controlling of the people. I mean, I'd mention names, but I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help.
Yeah, I remember listening to that. Again, it's true. I've said this for a while. The only country that is going to be willing to use like nuclear warfare on other countries at this point, I would argue, are countries that are like the Islamic Caliphate type places that have a irrational theocratic, government where they believe that, okay, if we just kill everybody and, we'll go to heaven and stuff and everyone else will be in hell. And it's like, okay, you can have that belief but still want to live. I mean, Saddam Hussein claimed to be a Muslim, but he very much had plenty of possessions and he had posters of like celebrities on his walls. That man did not want to die. Saddam Hussein was not going to push a button and nuke the whole world. Somebody else, maybe in like the Ayatollah, could be a whole different situation. They might be the true believer that's willing to sacrifice themselves to launch a nuclear attack on another country. But Russia and China, far less likely. They'll engage in war, they'll engage in combat, they'll engage in obviously targeted missile attacks and ballistic strikes and ground troops and all that the traditional warfare stuff. Using nuclear weapons in those situations, they're going to be far less likely to do so because none of those leaders, just like our politicians, they don't want to die either. Okay, so they're far less likely to attack you with a direct nuclear strike, in my personal opinion. That doesn't mean it'll never happen. I just worry a lot more about the unhinged lunatics in the middle of the desert somewhere that get a hold of a nuclear weapon than I do about Putin or Xi Jinping or whatever. Having a good relationship with our enemies makes them a good leader because it keeps disputes civil. I mean, Wild, I kind of feel the same way. I think anybody who can get along with other leaders, as long as it's not get along in like a conspiratorial, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. Again, what they tried accusing him of with the Steele dossier and all the other crap, if it's not in that aspect, then I don't care. Keep things civil, keep us from all getting into new wars. Musk at one point said, I've not been very political before. They tried to paint me as a far-right guy, which is absurd because I like to make electric vehicles. I supported Obama. I stood in line for 6 hours to shake Obama's hand. Historically, I was a moderate Democrat. But now I feel like we're at a critical juncture for the country, for the people out there in the moderate camp. I think you should support Donald Trump for president. And again, I think that that's, again, a very, very fair opinion to have. And it shows where a lot of people are at, where they're like, hey, I'm traditionally liberal. Like Berner, you shared this meme that Elon Musk had posted before about how all of a sudden everything moves further left, and suddenly the centrist is a right winger, and they're being called a bigot by the progressives. And it's a reality. It is a very, very real situation that we've seen unfold before our very eyes. Colin Rugg here says, just in, Donald Trump and Elon Musk's space has concluded with the two speaking to each other for over 2 hours. Trump and Elon had over 1 million listeners live during the space. Trump posted on X for the first time since August 24th, 2023. And I don't know if this means that he's back. I don't know if this actually means he is back for sure, for real. I don't know with Truth Social if he's got contractual obligations where he's not allowed to post regularly on X. I don't know. I don't know what the whole story is, but it will be very curious to see, moving forward, if he's actually able to continue posting on here. So then you got Blair White saying Elon invited Kamala to have a conversation just like Trump. She said no, and then sent this coward-ass email to her supporters. This is the message from the Harris Walls campaign. Says, right now, Elon Musk is interviewing Donald Trump live on Twitter. We're not calling it X. Wow. Oh my God, dude. Okay. I think the X name compared to Twitter is stupid. I love the name Twitter. I think Twitter's fantastic. I still call it tweeting when I put out a message on there. But for them to be so, like, girl boss cringe, like, you're not going to make us call it, X. We're calling it Twitter. It's like, come on, guys. That's just pitiful. It's not enough that Musk has pledged to donate millions of dollars to help re-elect Trump. What are you complaining about money, Kamala? You're making, like, money hand over fist. Didn't she get, like, $24 million in one day? She got $4 million from Simone, what's her the Olympic gymnast who bitched out 4 years ago, couldn't do her routine. That chick like pledged like $4 million to Kamala's campaign, I'm pretty sure. It's not enough that Musk has pledged to donate millions to Trump. He's using his purchase platform. He bought Twitter. That's what billionaires do. They buy Twitter. What did Jeff Bezos buy? Didn't Jeff Bezos buy the Washington Post to write plenty of fluff pieces about how great Jeff Bezos is? It's the Washington Post, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And then he used the Washington Post to attack his rival Elon Musk to spread Trump's unhinged and hateful agenda to millions of users. Wait a second. I thought that dude that from USA Today said it didn't reach millions of people. I thought it was just a sad, tiny group of people that listened in. If that's all you need to hear, chip in $25 now to help Kamala and Tim have the resources to respond to their lies. Otherwise, let us remind you why this is a big deal. The richest person in the world is a lackey for Team MAGA. Musk already ruined Twitter by allowing hate speech and disinformation to flood the platform. Now Musk is using his vast fortune and broad reach to... Well, are they trying to make Musk seem more likable? Again, I'm not a Musk fan. And yet, if I was like an independent person with a functioning brain on my own, surveying my two options, and then I read this, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go with them. You seem like a lunatic. See you, bye. Oh, yeah, we're almost up to Mr. Beast here. I don't even know if I want to talk about Mr. Beast tonight. Yeah, center lib, again. Exactly. Okay, yeah, he did buy the Post. That's not even in their faith. Yeah, Wild, honestly, the funny thing about it is, I don't... Other than the snippets that I've seen from the Quran and the fact that there's the whole... at least back when I was growing up, it was the Sunni versus the Shiite Muslims who all wanted to kill each other. Not something I've looked into too hardcore about the whole 77 virgin thing. It's definitely been a meme for a long time, kind of like the goats and their proclivity for... Never mind. We're not going to get into the goats tonight. Yeah. But this is pretty fascinating to watch. Again, I thought the space was relatively boring. I thought it was relatively mundane. There were some good parts. There's some funny moments. Because, again, it's Trump and Musk. There's going to be funny moments. It sounds like, it's weird. This is part of Trump's personality. He attacked Musk when Musk was supporting DeSantis. Now when Musk is supporting him, he's praising Musk. Okay, that's Trump's manners. It's his personality. It's the way he operates. If you're on my side, I'm gonna, again, scratch your back. I'll scratch your back. You scratch mine. Trump has that very personality where I'm gonna go after you if you're not one of my guys, and then as soon as you're one of my guys, we're good. He lets it go and he walks away, which I guess politically is smart. The minute that you don't need to attack anybody else, you make up and you move on. Still, I mean, it's whatever. Yeah, shady as shit. Well, I'll just touch on this one thing because of the fact that it's the most recent piece of it. We've covered the whole thing where he hired somebody who's on the list, right? This dude, they went by the name Delaware. And of course, I guess he's the brother-in-law of Jake the Viking, who used to work at Mr. Beast, and he came out defending this dude, saying how, oh no, he's innocent. He had to plead guilty to stay out of jail. And so now it's just, this whole thing is falling off the freaking, wagon. The parts are falling off. The wheels are falling off. And the worst part now is that besides the cease and desists and the copyright striking, and all the people coming out saying that Mr. Beast has had all sorts of people on his show who have been trying to get in girls' pants, and that there's been all the allegations of people getting hurt, deprived their medication, deprived proper medical treatment or food or whatever. Now apparently, I showed you guys on stream or video the last time I talked about this, the ex-girlfriend who's chimed in, and of course you can't ever believe an ex-girlfriend. Well, now his current girlfriend, Mr. Beast's current girlfriend, has come out defending him, which is an even worse look in my opinion. If you've got a ex-girlfriend going after you, you can go, all right, ex-girlfriend, she's probably pretty pissed off at him. Maybe it's really just petty jealousy or whatever. But when your current girlfriend comes out and says, oh no, he's the greatest guy ever, you're like, okay, yeah, you have to say that. You're dating him. You don't want him to lose all this shit. The guy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Oh yeah, the Scottish and their goats. Yeah, I think there's a lot of societies, a lot of cultures that have a proclivity for goats for whatever reason, or sheep, I guess. So this article says, YouTube star Mr. Beast's girlfriend, Tia, is it Tia or Thea? I think it's Tia. Buisen, well, that's a hell of a name, has spoken out amid the ongoing accusations against her internet-famous boyfriend. Jimmy Donaldson is currently under fire amid multiple accusations against him and his company, with a former employee claiming the YouTuber knowingly hired a registered offender who was featured in his previous videos. Combined with the prior backlash against his former collaborator, Ava Chris Tyson, Mr. Beast is under the proverbial microscope of the internet, and fans are begging his girlfriend to reconsider their relationship. I don't care who he dates. I couldn't care less. Although, really funny thing, guys. I said for a while that there's something weird about Mr. Beast, super fishy. I mean, I got a pretty good radar when it comes to people that are just not trustworthy. She looks nice, kind of dopey, but cute. Nice smile, whatever. Every time I see this man smile, it just seems like he's wearing a mask. Faked. I don't know. I mean, and the funny thing is he's in every, one of their freaking thumbnails. But there's always been something about this dude that's underlying that's, giving me the heebie-jeebies. And I don't know what it is. But that fake-ass face there, I think that's a huge piece of it. Mr. Beast's current girlfriend is South African influencer. Oh, that's why her name's different. Tia, we're just going to say Tia Boyson. Boyson. We'll say Tia Boyson. That works for me. Who boasts her own YouTube channel with 37,000 subscribers. Okay. All right. Oh, it seems super fake. All right, guys. I'm not shitting on somebody who's got 37,000 subscribers. That's good. That's really good. Those are great numbers. I hope to get there maybe in 5 years. Maybe 10 years. Who knows? It could take me the rest of my life to get to 37,000 subscribers. So this is no shade on her. But Mr. Beast has 307 million subscribers. You're talking, this chick is in my league. We're both in the sub 50,000 YouTube subscriber category. That's the plane that we exist on. This man can put out a video for 30, like a 30-second video saying something stupid into his microphone, and he'll get 10 million views on the video and instantly thousands of dollars in his bank account. these two don't exist in the same world, okay? So to say, oh, boasts her own YouTube channel with 37,000, okay. On its own, that's an impressive feat. But you can't compare, that's comparing apples to like freaking earthworms or some shit. That's insane. Although her content mostly focuses on Disney's Lorcana card game, several commentators have been making mention of the current controversy around her boyfriend. On August 10th, one viewer wrote a comment in Afrikaans begging her to break up with her man. As a fellow South African and an admirer of your intelligence and good nature, please get away from the beast as soon as you can. Yeah, this has gotten bad for him. If people are telling his girlfriend to leave him, that's like all-time low. I appreciate the message, Boyson replied. There is so much that is not being said. I wish I could talk more about the situation. Half the things that are said are not true. I wouldn't be with him if they were. So she says half the things. Half the things that are said are not true. So the other half are? I'm really curious. So, boy, how would you even frame this? He's not, he has paid people, but he's not making sure they're not getting injured on set, or he is making sure they're not getting injured on set, but he's not paying people for their work. Which one is it? Like, okay. It's so important to me to be a good person. Hopefully things will be fixed soon, but for now I'm focusing on my studies and trying to stay away from everything. I mean, good for her. I would too if I were her. Oh my gosh. This is the most recent comment from MrBeast's inner circle amid the ongoing torrent of criticism toward the YouTuber. Boyson's statement follows another remark made by Donaldson's ex-girlfriend, Maddie Spittle, who published a series of cryptic posts on social media appearing to reference her ex-man. Yeah, she called him like a psychotic monster or something. Said he was like super controlling or whatever. Struck you as a kid diddler? I mean, honestly, Wild, I get that weird, creepy vibe. And again, I'm not that kind of person who crapped on him 6 months ago or a year ago because he went to Africa and built wells for people who was curing blindness, and people were like, oh, his channel name's, Mr. Beast, and he's curing people. He's the Antichrist. This is the mark of the beast. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. I wasn't saying that it was like cultural white saviorism for going to Africa and giving people medical supplies. I none of that shit ever like crossed my mind. I'm like, okay, well, if he's cringe, but he's doing positive things with his money, I don't care how rich he is. I don't care how many viewers he has. Whatever. Doesn't have any effect on me. But I've always been weirded out by his smile. Something about that just creeps me out. Her remarks seem at odds with what Boyson had to say. Well, one's the ex-girlfriend, one's the current girlfriend. No shit, Sherlock. It's like you got opposite ends of the spectrum here. Oh yeah, but then of course you have people like this Rosanna Pansino person. And this was very weird. This was very interesting. She's somebody that called him out for faking his videos, and she posted on Twitter not too long ago saying how essentially people are contacting her saying that Mr. Beast and his team are going around hiring private investigators to essentially dig up any dirt they can on these people, to smear them, to try to discredit them. And again, I don't know for sure if they can prove that. She says she has receipts. We have to wait and see about that. But it's like, why would his response to all this mess, Ava Chris Tyson, Delaware, the Amazon show, accusations of not paying people, stealing their work, running scams, illegal gambling, and these are all things that are more or less verifiable in some aspect. All these things, there are elements of at least half-truth to all of these things, provably. There are people who have documented all this shit. Why would his response be, I'm going to go hire private investigators to try to smear people? Like, if you're innocent, that's not the approach you take, in my personal opinion. But whatever. The only thing you need to do regarding Jimmy is look at his eyes. No matter how often he smiles, his eyes never change. They show sadism and internal darkness. Well, if you go back to, like, the fact that the videos that he was editing, he was taking the clips out where he was like looking at or noticing the paintings on Chris Tyson's wall, and they were all those paintings by that Shadman guy. And those are all the parts he edited anytime that he was in like a camera, like within a camera shot, and there was one of those art like prints behind him or next to him, or it was in that room that had it. Those are all the ones he edited out. It's like, this man has spent his time online just like the rest of us. I don't doubt it. He's been in some dark places or seen some dark shit, but he's hanging around with people who spend way too much time into some shit that they really shouldn't be getting involved in. So, if there's if there's like an internal darkness within him, that wouldn't surprise me. Now let's flip completely opposite side here, because we've already talked about Chris Tyson, Mr. Beast allegations. We got to go back to Dr. Disrespect, because now there's actual articles going on. I didn't know that this was an article until the Quartering made a video about it. I thought everybody was just kind of assuming Dr. Disrespect was like trying to play coy on Twitter or whatever. But now they actually wrote an article talking about how Dr. Disrespect's implying that his confession was bait. How that would be bait, I don't know. But we'll go through the article real briefly here before we wrap up. So from Paul Tassi, who's a complete genius, not really, he's an idiot, it says, new Dr. Disrespect comeback promo implies his confession tweet was bait. I'm not sure I've ever seen anything like this, and I have borne witness to plenty of scandals involving plenty of high-profile figures. But after streamer Dr. Disrespect admitted to inappropriately contacting a minor, which he did admit to, which led to his infamous Twitch ban, you might have imagined that that was that for him. Now something truly bizarre is happening where Dr. Disrespect is now posting content that indicates some sort of comeback planned, and now he seems to be implying that his confession, which remains posted on his page, was bait. Oh, excuse me. His new header image on Twitter features a torn up piece of paper with the confession tweet in question on it. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen it or not, but... Okay, so this is the confession tweet here. Where are we at? Where's the article? This right here is the new header. And I didn't realize at the time that it was his confession. Oh, I can't zoom in on that. Sorry, guys. But yeah, apparently... Let me exit out of this. Wonder if I can zoom in if I do this. Here we go. That's as far as we can zoom in. Yeah, I guess it is his confession or whatever. So, again, he's done the thing where he's playing chess by himself and he got destroyed. This thing got 53 million impressions, and I'm talking people were raking him over the coals, asking him, why are you playing like with a kid or a kid's game or whatever. And yeah, the confession is still sitting here on his account from June 25th. And it says, as a reminder, it reads, were there Twitch Whisper messages with an individual minor in 2017? Answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these? Absolutely not. They were casual mutual conversations, leaning too much in the direction of being inappropriate, nothing more. Again, whether or not Twitch actually retained the messages, whether they had records of them, people are saying most likely that they no longer exist. So we'll never likely know what was on those messages, how bad it was or anything. Unfortunately, though, people are going to make up their own mind. And personally, when somebody tells me that they admit to inappropriately messaging a minor, I can only take them at face value. I know there's a lot of people like the Quartering. He's been like, even after Dr. Disrespect admitted to this, the Quartering has been like, oh, I've got your back, man. Firm handshakes. And I was like, well, what happened was it seemed like everybody clung on to this rumor one guy spread. Well, you had to be 18 to use the Twitter Whisper, or the Twitch Whisper part of it. So clearly he was talking to somebody who was either 18 or pretending to be 18. It's like, no, Twitch Whispers are available to everybody. That was bullshit. I've disproven that 1,000 times. Then, of course, you had people who were like, oh, but Dr. Disrespect, he got baited by somebody who was actually over 18, but they were pretending to be younger than 18. Okay, well, then he thinks he's talking to a minor. That doesn't help his case. And then everyone's like, well, if she was 17 and not 18, okay, regardless, still talking to a minor. Yes, 17 is less disgusting than 13, which is less disgusting than 5. Still illegal. He's in California. Age of consent is 18. Again, doesn't make it any better. Less disgusting, maybe. Not better. Still talking to a minor. So again, everyone's been clinging on to some sort of hope. And deep down, would I love it if this came out that he was talking to somebody and none of this was what it would seem to be, and that it is some sort of bait or some sort of like, I don't know what the end game would be though. What does he benefit by admitting to talking to a minor, losing a shitload of sponsors? I mean, he got his YouTube demonetized. He's lucky they didn't completely delete his channel. But he can no longer make money on YouTube, at least as far as, yeah, he can't get memberships. He can't get ad revenue. TT, thanks for following. Appreciate it. So what would he benefit from this, guys? Like, for real. There is no benefit for him going along with this if it was like some sort of bait. I don't know. But again, previously he posted an image of himself playing chess while the other side of the board was checkers. And yeah, he got roasted over that. And he says, I've been asked why I keep giving attention to Dr. Disrespect in the wake of all this, and the answer was previously that he was one of the biggest streamers in the world with a huge fan base. But now an additional component is this is very disturbing. We've seen tearful apologies and long roads to forgiveness if it ever happens in situations with public figures like this. In contrast, Doc, despite losing his Twitch account, his sponsors, his game studio, and his fellow streamers, is attempting to return without anything approaching an apology, never breaking character as he does so. And now implying that this is all some sort of game, a trick, this is deeply weird. It's not even like he's denying the accusations. They are no longer accusations because he actually admitted to inappropriately contacting a minor, and again, that's what I go back to. He and some portion of his fan base seem to think it's not a big deal as nothing happened and he wasn't arrested, but the idea that he would both return and now that his confession was bait is unsettling, as what exactly is he trying to say here? I cannot think of anything that makes any amount of sense. You tricked everyone into thinking you inappropriately contacted a minor because, ? And again, that's where I'm at with this entire situation. Like, unless it was something to expose somebody at Twitch, okay, that would be very weird. Like, he's not working with Twitch behind the scenes to expose somebody internally. Twitch doesn't care. Twitch has protected tons of groomers and weirdos and creeps and diddlers in their platform. Hell, they do it on a daily basis every time they let these weirdo thoughts on there, half-naked body painting and funneling people to their OnlyFans. They don't care about protecting people. They never have and they never will. So I don't know how this works out for Doc. I like I say, if it turns out that I'm wrong, it'd be hilarious. I would find it fantastic if this was all some sort of ruse. I don't know how that happens. Again, in context to the Ava Chris Tyson stuff, does this seem minor? I'm going to go back to it depends on what they actually said in the whisper messages. But in comparison to somebody who's actually like physically abusing a kid, of course, this is much less extreme, especially if it was somebody who was close to the age of 18. But again, we don't know the age. We don't even know the gender of the person he was speaking to. This is how little information that all of this has been based off of. So it is with this point. So the article finishes up saying, I will continue following this because this man has a large fan base and continues to be held in high esteem by one of his most devoted followers. Some of his most devoted followers. I thought he was talking about the quartering for a second there. And his response to what happened here is unlike anything I've ever seen, as he's now pitching it as some sort of viral marketing master plan as he gears up to return. I don't think it's a marketing master plan. I don't know what the incentive could be. Just trying to find a path back to streaming? I mean, maybe. But, I mean, with cryptic stuff such as this is so specific. Like, this image right here, this, okay, let's read like a hypothetical into this. He's the fisherman. That's the bait, okay? The bait was the message he put out there. Who's he trying to bait? His haters? Well, he's giving his haters what they want by admitting that he messaged a minor. How does that benefit him? Well, it gets him canceled. How does canceling him get a benefit him? Well, he loses money. He looks like a perv. He loses respect. Again, there's the huge monetary loss. Sponsorships, partnerships. He's essentially, other than, hell, does he have any sponsors left at this point? Was it Razer that was sponsoring him? Every game that he was attached to, the 49ers, he had to deal with like Pepsi or something. Oh, did he? I mean, yeah, I posted when he was dunking on that Wash Your Crack account, because that person's one of the absolute worst people on Twitter. I'm like, okay, you know, not to take away from the seriousness of what Doc might have done, but this is pretty fantastic to see him shitting all over her. I always appreciate a good roast, no matter who it's coming from. But I just don't know what this benefits him. How is this bait? I'm racking my brain. I've been thinking about this for a while. Like, in what way, in what imaginable world could this be any sort of bait? Other than him trying to spin a negative as some sort of weird positive. But I mean, weirder things have happened, guys. Who knows? Oh, yeah, I want to wrap this up. I need to get some opinions on this, guys. If you guys can give me your honest opinion. So I posted earlier that I was going to go live talking about this Twitter space. And the one person who commented was this guy who's not even subscribed to the channel, asking why the F a gaming channel is talking about politics, okay? Isn't this the same thing that the alt-left trying to groom kids for the alt-right now is, y'all are jokes and need to grow up? So I responded. I was trying to be cordial, not be too nasty with this guy. I said, okay, since you asked so nicely, and I put from my channel description, this is my channel for live streams and gaming related videos. My other channel news, pop culture, politics, whatever. My videos focus on video games and the games industry as a whole. My other channel focuses on politics and entertainment. However, this is my channel that I live stream on. I live stream twice a week. Monday is whatever the biggest current topics are. Friday is game night. And he's like, so you have two channels, but intertwine them when it comes to the stream. Sort of like how Sweet Baby Inc. is just a consultant firm, but it's really just an alt-left propaganda engine. And I'm like, okay, this dude, I'm done trying to explain myself. So before I got streaming, I was thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, I could stream the Monday night stream to the podcast channel. Problem is, Streamlabs that I use, I only pay for one account to multi-stream. So if I were to do the Monday night stream on the podcast channel instead of here to make it more news and pop culture specific, because it's not necessarily gaming topics on Monday night, I'd have to only stream to YouTube or only stream to Rumble I could only stream to one platform at a time because I'm not paying for two different accounts on Streamlabs. There's absolutely no way I'm going to do that. And every multi-streaming platform, regardless if it's a Rumble Studio or Restream, to multi-stream, you got to pay for all of them. So I'm at a loss, guys. I don't know what to do. Do I just leave everything on this channel for live streams and say, screw this guy, he's an idiot? Or do I seriously need to consider doing my Monday night live streams on my podcast channel because people are getting confused about why I'm talking about real world issues on my gaming channel? I'm just curious what y'all think about it. So it's something that I'm trying to figure out. That's what he's doing, is just troll. I mean, he might just be trolling. He could, but it's a really weird thing to troll with, Desert. The thing is, it's a very strange thing to troll with because my biggest issue with it, it's like, all right, he's baiting or trolling with a admission of guilt, you know? Okay, Purple, so he's a total retard. All right, that's cool. And the funniest part is he tries to accuse me of like trying to indoctrinate kids. You affect kids through gaming, then bring them to stream of politics. I think I have more female viewers, which is like 2%, than I have people in the 13 to 17 category. I think 13 to 17, as far as my viewers go, is like less than 1%. So my channel, my audience is not children. So you're right, the guy is retarded. There's no question there. It's just, for a while I've contemplated, do I need to stream on my podcast channel on Monday nights and then leave everything else gaming on this channel, live streaming for Friday nights on this channel, live streaming. It just, guys, it gets to be so freaking, like, it's so much trying to maintain all this shit. Trying to come up with videos, topics, get a little article on my website once in a while, maintain 2 channels, get videos on 2 channels. And that's all just after my kids go to bed every night. Like, unless I wake up ass crack of dawn before work, before my kids wake up, which is not easy because my kids wake up super early, like really early. It's impossible for me to record in the morning before I go to work. So everything, like I'm contemplating right now, since it's only 11 o'clock, I might record a video and get it uploaded to go live in like an hour or whatever. So. Oh, I don't give a crap, Wild. It's just more the I don't want to confuse people. It's not me feeling like guilty or like I got called out on something. It's just I'm trying to find out if there's legitimate confusion is more what it is. And if there's not, then fuck it. I don't care. Oh man, I said the F word. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to, like, I was F-bombing at work today because I was so frustrated. I tell my wife went with me to help me out today since I'm so far behind. She bailed my ass out quite a bit. I'm like, I've been so good about not cursing, like explicitly cursing. You know, hell, shit, and damn. I've said that all the time. But like, even that, I'm trying to keep to a minimum. Spent so much of my life with a mouth like a sailor. I'm trying to like reel it in a little bit. But every once in a while, damn it, just comes out. You can't help it. The good news is, though, my new capture card comes tomorrow. So I'll have, by Friday night's live stream when we're doing the game stream, which I think I'm going to do Mecha Break on Friday, or maybe we'll go back to doing... Dude, I've got so many game keys from people who want me to check out like their indie games and stuff, and I don't have time to play any of them. I got one for a game called U-Boat. That's like a German World War II or whatever submarine simulator that looks really interesting. I don't even have time to check it out. highlights. I mean, I've thought about that, guys. I've thought about this because here's the thing. I'm not worried about viewership on my other channel because this is where I spend most of my time. Most of the things that interest me have to do with like the gaming side of things and everything that kind of involves that. But the podcast channel was really something I set up with my wife for us to do together a couple of years ago. And once she got too busy with work and with homeschooling the kids, it was like, all right, well, I'll just try to pick it back up and get a video on there every night. That channel is really meant to be pop culture, entertainment, politics, news, those kind of topics. I wanted to stay away from those as far as video content went on this channel. When I made this channel my live channel, it was the intent of putting videos on that channel and having this be the live channel, which quickly became, I'm like, you know what? I could just separate them and do gaming stuff over here, the podcast stuff over there. Then it turned into, well, I'm live streaming more and more, but I don't want to have to live stream on 2 different channels, so just try to combine the 2. I mean, that's where we're at with this, guys. That's kind of how things went. And the perpetually confused, anyone with a smidgen of a brain knows what's up. Well, and that's the thing. It's like I don't post anything on this channel that's not like if it's that Borderlands movie, it's based on a game. If it has to do with Alyssa Mercante or Kotaku, it has to do with the games industry, the media. If it has to do with Thomas Lockley, well, he's involved in Assassin's Creed Shadows, video game. So I've tried to make it as not confusing as possible. I mean, I'm not worried about trolls. This is more legitimate, like, shop talk here at this point. Trying to keep things cohesive. Less muddy, less confusing. Oh, dude, I got a tip from a viewer on some more information on Assassin's Creed Shadows that I have not had time to look into, but it's fascinating stuff. I was kind of hoping maybe get a video on that tonight. I might do that, guys. I might end this here in a few minutes, and we'll get back on track with some videos overnight, have something ready for in the morning. But yeah, Desert, that's why this channel is named Minimal Effort Live, because when I decided to split the 2 channels up and focus on video content there and save this as my live channel, I was like, well, I'll just use this for my live stream. So when I'm doing talking or video games or whatever, that was my plan in keeping them separate. Unfortunately, then I got into, oh, well, I'll just do video game content.
We have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside.
Dude, way too much audio all at once. Holy crap. Got Trump talking, I got music playing. What the hell just happened there? There we go. Now I have nothing. I'm left with nothing. Oh, and then here's the best part. I logged out of Streamlabs, okay? Because I wanted to log in with my other channel and see if all my stuff stayed here. Oh, no. No, when I logged out of Streamlabs and logged back in with my other account, I have nothing. I had no scenes, I had no overlay, I had no notification things, no alerts, I had nothing. And I'm like, oh my God, there's no way. I'm not setting this up from scratch all over again. Not doing it. Well, that is true, Weil. I mean, the thing is, like I said, Monday nights are for whatever the topic is. This is our chance to just talk about current events. And it could be a night full of gaming news. Who knows? The thing is, I cover so much of that. Call it minimal effort on YouTube, problem solved. There you go. I tried to get the URL minimal effort gaming, that was already taken. Surprisingly, min effort or min F live, whatever. I don't even remember what my channel names are, like this shortened abbreviation. The URLs are half the time. Dude, I got so many social media accounts that I set up for both these channels that I don't even use because I don't even remember how to log into half these places. Like, I had a Parler account when that website first started up. I know I've got Gab, I got Minds, I got all that other shit. I was going to try to stream to BitChute tonight. BitChute is actually doing live streaming now. Not that there's probably an audience on there. I guarantee that there's nobody on BitChute who watches live streams on there. But apparently that's a thing now. So you can actually do live streaming on BitChute. I've yet to test it out. Oh, that's really loud. Holy crap. That's really loud. Wow. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it. I could figure it out. I'm not dead set on anything. So, when it comes to... Here, I'll just pop up my website because it's got everything saved on it. When you go to, like, this channel here, it pops up as Minimal Effort Live, okay? That's the gaming channel here, and that's one that's got all my videos on this one. All right. When you go to the podcast channel, that one pops up as Minimal Effort Podcast, and that's the actual URL for that one. And so again, that one's more specifically just random topics. Again, you got Keffels, Mr. Beast, Taylor Swift, Star Wars, YouTuber drama, politics, boogie, Amazon shows, that kind of stuff. And so again, it's more a matter of I don't want people to be confused when they come to the gaming channel where I cover all my gaming topics, and it's, you know, live stream about Trump. As much as that guy is just a complete twat and I don't care, I would like it to be more cohesive. So I don't know, I'll figure it out. I just gotta spend some time thinking about it. The only thing is I will have to, if I change things around, I'll have to maybe get some logos redone or something. I don't know. Anyways, we can always shoot the shit about this more later on, and I'm gonna probably try to get a video recorded here real quick, guys. So I'm gonna end the stream. Yeah, it's getting fairly late and I gotta work in the morning. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate all the constructive criticism. Again, I'm not sweating some idiot troll. I'm just more thinking about actually keeping things cohesive. You know? But then wouldn't I have to change the topics, like the content on the channel if it doesn't? Like, the reason I do all my gaming videos on there is because it's my gaming channel, you know? So I don't know. This is the problem when you start overthinking shit. It's really hard not to. Minimal effort daily. But then where do I post my gaming content to? Do I do the gaming videos, like the games industry topics on... I don't know. This is the problem with like giving any idiot or troll any time of day, is then all of a sudden you start questioning, you go, maybe I should change some stuff around. I don't know. This is how I ended up taking fans in and out of my computer 5 different times over the course of a week and a half just to get them functioning properly, okay? This is where we are. This is the way my brain operates. Or I set up to just live stream on the podcast channel, and I just stream to YouTube on that one. That's actually not the worst idea. I could just do that. And then I save myself this entire, you know, whatever. I'm just not gonna be able to stream to Rumble and everything else. Same channel, just description, just different description. You know, for a while, hang on, I'm gonna come back. I can't leave like that. Okay, so, for a while, I was actually thinking about just consolidating all the videos to Minimal Effort Live, posting multiple videos there, right? Okay, so I can cover whatever, whether it's entertainment, pop culture, gaming, do that all on this channel, Minimal Effort Live, okay? Then I could use the podcast channel to record an actual segment. So, I think it was Richie, or it might have been Hunter, one of my mods, that was telling me for a while I needed to just record like an actual podcast segment, like talking about different topics, and then upload it to this channel, like an actual podcast, you know, actually be authentic with it. And then that way I can completely separate it to where I could still talk about whatever I want to on Minimal Effort Live. Could still live stream here. And then on this one, it could be if I want to record an actual podcast segment. Which, to be fair, it's not like this channel. I got this channel to grow pretty quickly in the course of about 6 months. I mean, I got it monetized. I got it over 1,000 subscribers talking about certain topics. But it's not like it's doing gangbusters for numbers. I'm trying to keep it, you know, relevant. I'm still trying to upload it once in a while. But I've been thinking about that for a while. Maybe just consolidating, like if it's something I really want to talk about, just make a video on Minimal Effort Live, and then just use this when I finally get time to do an actual podcast. Ta-da. See, you're making it too simple, Wild. I like complicated. I do complicated very well. I like to overthink things. Wow, this camera makes it look like I'm sitting really low. Holy crap. I'm still here. Still here. Holy shit. Yeah, I had to break out the old Logitech. And I was like, oh, this picture looks fine. It looks just like my camera. And then I zoomed into the full screen and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so blurry. Ah, this is terrible. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, I might start doing that, guys. I might start changing things up. Nothing's going to change on your end. You just might start seeing videos pop up on this channel that don't necessarily have anything to do with gaming. And that's fine. I think that's probably what I'll start doing. I just don't know when I'm actually going to be able to record. You know what I need to do? Simple is good. Oh, Tebow, like Tim Tebow. Oh, the only reason I go by Tebow is the fact that it was my first gamer tag. Well, first memorable gamer tag. So when I first got Xbox Live, I had a freaking like Ecthelion, something from Lord of the Rings, right? Some deep lore character like the elf Ecthelion. But then it was like Tim Tebow was the meme that came out of like freaking what was the college he was from over in Florida? Gators. And he couldn't throw the ball to save his life, right? And at that point, I was big into football. I was playing Madden. And so I made my gamer tag Run Tebow Run. All right, that's been my gamer tag on my Xbox going back since I was single. I haven't changed it since then, okay? So I'm talking, I've had that same damn gamer tag for probably close to 20 years now. I had it when I was like a late teens, early 20s. Yeah, so that's just been the reason I've kept it. And so that became like my shortened online persona was just Tebow, because everything was like when I first started Twitch, it was under Run Tebow Run. My YouTube name was under that, and then I switched it to, I can't remember what I switched it to after that. I tried different variations because I have so much cringe like artwork and emotes and things that I tried having made or making myself on like my software on my computer, trying to make that Twitch channel grow. And it was like, yeah. So that's the deep lore on the Tebow name. It's because of Tim Tebow and my old Xbox account. Good times. Hey, back in the day, people thought the name was hilarious because Tim Tebow couldn't throw the ball to save his life, so he was always running for his life. It was very pertinent at the time. Now it's just my online persona. I think one of those websites that I got onto at too young of an age, my username was Ganon something, like Ganon from Legend of Zelda. I was like, I'm super cool. I'm on an adult website with the name Ganon. Been wild for over 25 years. Hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, my usernames have changed based on what I'm doing. For example, I played Guild Wars for about 2 years. 1 year I put like a couple thousand hours into it, and all of my characters were German names. They were all variations of something having to do with hunter or warrior. And so my warrior dude, my tank on Guild Wars was Jaeger von Heimdall, so Hunter of Heimdall. And then, of course, I had like Krieger and Ghost of Ragnarok and all sorts of things, right? Well, that's because, Burner, the thing was I wanted to have the channel named Minimal Effort Gaming. So originally I was like, okay, I'll make this my live channel, this is my podcast channel. Then I was like, well, I'll make this my gaming channel and this my podcast channel. Problem is Minimal Effort Gaming is not available. So I just left it as the Minimal Effort Live part. So I don't know. You know what I could do? If I could just move all 7,000 subscribers from this channel, just push them over to the podcast channel to watch the videos on there, and then just save this for live streaming, problem solved. Having one channel would be easier. To be honest, having one channel would be incredibly easy. So what I might do is just drop the gaming name and go to uploading videos on this channel, just on this channel more often that are not just gaming stuff, and see how it does. I think that there's a certain amount of crossover. I know that a lot of people who watch guys like Hypnotic, Yellow Flash, a lot of these other commentators, they don't just expect like gaming content or comic book content or Hollywood content. And there's a large crossover for these audiences. And so I do feel like in some ways I'm limiting myself to what I can do with this channel by forcing it to be a topic. Let's say that there's a topic that I'm not super passionate about, right? Even if it's not like a big trending topic, but it's something I'm passionate about, I'll cover it. But if I'm not really passionate about it and it's not really trending, it's going to show in the video, in the quality of the research done on it, in the commentary on it. And as such, the views are going to suffer and people are going to go, oh, this guy's an idiot, whatever. If the domain is Minimal Effort Live, then keep it that. Again, problem solved. Yeah. Bleach character is nice. So Wild, are you saying leave everything exactly the way it is, or just switch the name of this channel to Minimal Effort Live and call it good? What's your final answer? I'd ask Hunter or Richie if they were here, but neither one of them's here. Thought you were just spelling black wrong. That's German, they're Block. They're Schwarz. I mean, none of this would even be relevant or matter if I wasn't trying to do like my Monday night live streams. Just call it good. Oh, so you said switch to Minimal Effort Live as far as the description goes. Okay. Let me think about it, because there's some other... I mean, if you go back to my original, not Schwartz. It's Schwartz. Took German for a few years, guys. That's like painful to see you spell it like that. If you go back to like way back, oh my god, I've got over 300 videos. Shit, this is gonna take a while. It's been a lot of content in the last few months. I was covering the same kind of stuff with just much worse thumbnails on the podcast channel, originally on this channel. And actually some of my videos got decent views. I had one, my Henry Cavill one, and these videos were all scripted, guys. That was the thing. I used to do scripted videos that took me like 2 days to put together, okay? Video gameplay, background footage, and all sorts of stuff. But I don't have time for that shit anymore. Biggest video at that point was the one about Eliza Blue, the chick on Twitter who was trying to get a freaking Tesla out of Elon. That one got 25K views. That whole situation blew up really big. But again, it's not like I didn't start with this kind of stuff. It just turned into the gaming news. I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Yeah, no, I know. Here's the thing. I am a tiny blip on the radar. Long form videos. Could do long form videos on the other one. But then I need to change the name, and then I have to change the logo, because again, nothing I do is truly a podcast. When my wife and I made that channel, her intention was for her and I to be able to sit and just talk like an actual podcast. That lasted the first 2 nights that we got some videos recorded, and then she just didn't have time. And I don't fault her. I mean, she's busy. She's working from home. She's homeschooling the kids. So it's like that was part of the confusion, was we didn't have time to keep that up. And so then it turned into, okay, well, I'll just start making, just like her and I were going to do, just making videos on here just to keep the channel going. Maybe I could get... is that Tucker, or is that... Oh, well, I'd yell at the dog too if I were him. I'll be in a few minutes. Just adjust the names, yeah. My hardest situation to figure out is if I adjust the names, do I need to adjust the content? And I don't necessarily want to do that. But if I do decide to do like an actual longer video, the thing is, guys, here's the one thing I worry about with like the whole podcast thing. People like short videos. TikTok has proven that. People like short content. I hate it. I'll watch a video that's half an hour long. I have a good attention span. Unfortunately, some people don't. And so if I start doing like videos where I have guests, maybe I do, you know, talk with different people and whatever, or like I get yeah, no, Wild, you've come up with plenty of good answers. I just have to let it all sink in and kind of figure out the whole, as Michael Scott says, you know, take it all in, digest it, and see what comes out the other end. My only concern about taking the time to record a 45-minute podcast with somebody or whatever, talk about specific topics, or even like a half hour, is I feel like those aren't going to get any views. So while I don't care about views specifically, like I'm okay with a video that gets 135 or a video that gets 2,000. It's, you know, not every topic is for everybody. I've got a lot of videos that have done really crappy and some that have done okay. My issue is taking the time to do it because I don't really have the time. I don't have the extra time, man. That's my conundrum. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap it up now. No reason you can't drop short form on the same channel. I could. Drop the gaming name entirely, switch to Minimal Effort Live, stick mostly with gaming topics, and anything that gets more political-ish, we leave on podcast channel. All right, I think we're gonna do that, guys. I think we're going to... Wild, you're a genius. I think we've got it figured out. Another problem is the name podcast, but you know, that is something that I could remedy in the future if I do figure out a way to maybe adjust that. All right, that's food for thought. All right, I think I can safely say this time when I hit stream ending, he posts short videos and streams from the same channel. Yeah, I noticed he's got Yellow Flash 1 and 2. 1, I think he posts clips from his live streams. 2, he posts his actual short form video. All right. I think we're going to leave it there. I'm going to wrap it up. All right, you guys have been fantastic. You guys are geniuses. I love it. Man, quiet night tonight, but you guys have made it worth it. I appreciate you guys for being here. Now I'm going to probably just go to sleep. Screw it. I'll get a video made tomorrow night. I can take a day off from getting a video out. Just drop the podcast terminology. Yeah, I think we'll do that. You know, for a while I was calling it, you know, just Minimal Effort Live. Minimal Effort Live on both channels. Could do that. All right. Food for thought. I appreciate it. That's awesome, guys. All right, well, you know, I'll get some videos out in the next day or two, and